Hey, how's it going, folks? So somebody actually asked me the other day in regards to the process of buying a used car for cash. What is it that you need to do? So okay, I'm going to take it up here from the point where you've already found the car, you've already gone to see it, and you've already negotiated a price. Now, please try not to lowball people, okay? Because like I said in my previous video, sometimes they have spent a lot of time and money and effort on that car, and maybe that's why it is slightly above market value, and you should consider paying slightly above market value, because if you don't, you're going to spend that time and money and effort doing up the car yourself anyway. And I've come to realize that a lot of people have the passion and enthusiasm for doing up cars, but they don't have the time. Yes, they've got the money and they just don't have the time, and they can't put in the effort to do it. So why not consider buying a better condition used car than the other ones that you have actually shortlisted on your shortlist. Okay. So anyway, I'm taking it up from the point where you've already decided on a price. Okay. Now, normally after this, what happens is the seller, okay, I'm going to refer to you as the buyer, I'm going to refer to the other party as the seller. The seller it's normal for the seller to ask for a deposit, because you could be a time waster. You could be saying yes, then about a day later after he chases you, or 48 hours later after he's been chasing you, like, where's my deposit? And then you decide, oh, actually, you know what, I'm not going to go get it because, I got money trouble. Oh, my wife just gave birth. Oh, my son fell down, scraped his knee, I need to go to doctor, pay for doctor bill. Whatever. Your excuses are your own. If you've already agreed to the car, then you should pay him a deposit. Normally 10% is acceptable, 10%. So let's say if the car is 10,000 ringgit, you pay 1,000 ringgit deposit. If it's 5,000 ringgit, you pay 500 ringgit deposit. At that point, the seller will arrange for Puspakom. Now, Puspakom is actually a good thing, all right? Don't think of it as a hindrance or troublesome. Puspakom is actually a good thing, because it's actually protecting you. Because Puspakom is going to make sure that the seller isn't selling a Mickey Mouse car. The documents are all in order, and more importantly, the engine and chassis numbers match the official original registration card. So it's actually a protection for you. Now, who pays for the Puspakom? That's been a bone of contention, or a bane of contention, bone of argument, whatever, for the longest time. Now, by right, you should discuss with the seller, with the seller on maybe a 50-50 split on the Puspakom. Although, usually it is the seller who arranges for the Puspakom and gets the car inspected. You can offer to pay for the inspection, or you can offer to pay for at least half of the inspection. I think that's quite fair for everybody. And so anyway, this guy in front of me, right? He was bombing away trying to catch the green light, which had turned amber, and he jammed his brakes, because right across for the lane that actually just got the green were 4 cops on bikes. So he just jammed, and now his front wheels are in the yellow box. So hey, thanks for the entertainment today, Mr. Kia Forte. So anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, okay, so the Puspakom has to be done, okay? The deposit should be returned if the car fails Puspakom. Now that's very important, and you must have an agreement with the seller that if the car fails Puspakom, he has to return the deposit. Now this is where a little bit of trust comes in as well, because if the car fails, he might just run away. So that's why 10% is, you don't give half of the payment for the car. Yeah, you give 10%. That should be enough. And then even on the off chance that you lose it, hey, it's just 10%, and you don't suffer that much. And of course, you always know that karma is going to hit the seller very, very soon. Oh, it happens. Oh yeah. Anyway, so after the Puspakom has passed and he shows you a picture of the Puspakom receipt, which says Lulus, which means passed, you can then transfer another half of the payment. This is to confirm that you're taking the car, and that you're not going to run away. Okay? Because he's gone through the trouble of getting the car inspected and all that, suddenly you run away. You're wasting his time, you're wasting his money. So you deposit another half of the payment of the car, On that day itself, there's no 3-day waiting period or anything. So on that day itself, you can meet up with the seller at JPJ or UTC, Urban Transformation Center. There's one in Shah Alam. I've used it often. You can actually meet up with the seller and do the name transfer. You need to bring your My card. He needs to bring the original grant or registration card, as well as the Puspacom receipt. And you can go to any JPJ or UTC and do your thumbprints together. Him as the seller, you as the buyer, and the next thing you know, a new VOC or registration card is issued in your name. At that place itself, you can do the insurance and the road tax for the car, because unfortunately JPJ will take back the road tax. The road tax does not follow the car. It will be cancelled on the day you transfer. You can sort of try and persuade the seller to let you use the road tax, but it's not legal. Okay, I've checked. You need to get new road tax for the car. So do it one shot. Road tax, insurance. If it's an old car, only third party fire and theft. You can do it on the spot at JPJ or UTC. There are counters there where you can buy insurance, and then get your road tax, and off you go. The car is yours legally. At that point, you pay the full payment, the balance payment to the seller, and legally the car is yours. You can drive away. That's how simple it is. The main problem is usually the Puspacom, because you need to book. You can either use Puspacom mobile, which costs 100 ringgit more than if you drive your car to the Puspacom center, or you can make a booking online. They only take online bookings these days. Make a booking online, get a slot, drive over to the center, which is actually what I'm going to do tomorrow for the Sentra. Yep, the Sentra goes in today.
In 300 meters.
What am I doing today?
Turn right.
I'm actually
Then
driving
right.
the Accord to Keith. Keith is the guy who helped me with my Corolla when it overheated when I went to get the new headlights. Remember that? That incident, Bobby and I doing the Boris next to the drain. Yeah, so
Turn
that's
right
where I'm
onto
going.
Longmoranti
Keith is very familiar
turn
with
right
the
onto
Accord
Longmoranti
CA3, and he just happens to be near the spot, the area where I bought my Corolla broken roll of headlights, as well as the Sentra corner lights, signal lights yesterday, or was it the day before? Anyway, losing track of days. So just thought I'd share all that with you, and because people have asked, that's the process. If you have any other questions, please hit me up in the comments, and thank you for watching. Okay, bye bye.